Hi there. Welcome to Healing Childhood Trauma. I'm Graham Robinson. Now, I've spoken about shame before, and we all experience it at some point in our lives. And as I've said before, healthy shame is good for us. It helps us understand when we do something wrong or have regrets. For example, I'm still ashamed or was ashamed of leaving my three children when my marriage failed. I understand and recognize it, but it doesn't determine my every emotion. So this shame can pass. But when kids are trapped in a repetitive abusive environment like the home, the shame becomes toxic, and this shame doesn't pass very easily. And it becomes toxic simply because they can't escape it. They live within it every single waking and sleeping moment. Now, like most childhood abuse, it develops from a family environment devoid of love and care and does have long-lasting effects. It's at the core of our sadness, our loneliness, our anger, our rage, and a feeling that there is just something wrong with who we are. The feeling for many of us is that we're not wanted and therefore we don't actually belong here. And that's how bad toxic shame can be. It becomes so locked into our physical and emotional body that when we want or desire something, we feel actual self-loathing or self-contempt, as if we don't deserve it because we're not worthy of it. Therefore, we don't deserve anything good or nice. How often have you thought, maybe I'll buy something cheap because instead of the better product, because that's all I deserve or that's all I need? We have thoughts such as I'm not good enough, no one cares about me, or I can't achieve anything because, again, I don't deserve it. As adults, these thoughts will still persist and they're not going to go away as you age because they've been with us since childhood. Toxic shame may also drive us to addictions like alcohol, drugs, food, pornography, and sex. We will use these to numb our shame. When it comes to things like sex, we will have multiple partners because we're not able to focus on one. It also has a physical impact on us. When triggered, such as extreme sweating, you might get a lump in your throat, you might get a clenched stomach, you might even throw up in some circumstances. Without healing, toxic shame will continue to drive our insecurities, fears, and our feelings of unworthiness because it creates this belief that we are unworthy and everything is our fault. We also have this thing that we keep quiet about our abuse and the thoughts it generates. We're terrified of what might happen if others find out about what happened to us and how it makes us feel. Now, we all know someone who's appeared to have it all, to live for everything, and then suddenly either takes their own life or something else dramatic happens. No one of us knows what another person is struggling with, and we shouldn't make any assumptions. I can tell you from my own experience that even in my darkest moments, I've smiled and appeared happy to my friends and been jovial and joked and so on, and then gone home and been completely and utterly upset or sad. We struggle to talk about our trauma because we fear the judgment or rejection that we might get. Now, as an abused kid, our reasoning is different to those who haven't been abused. We lose perception of right and wrong and the good or bad. For me, my toxic shame appears in many ways, sometimes violently, but often in a way that highlighted my low self-esteem. Now, a simple example of that is when I would go to walk in and out or out of a doorway and someone was walking towards me, I would step aside, mumble an apology when I had nothing to apologize for. It was an automatic reaction by me because I felt less than them and I didn't even know them. Toxic shame can also live in our heads. It tells us what we can and can't do, or that we won't succeed no matter what we do. Does that sound familiar to you? These are the things that toxic shame continues to play on as we grow. Now, for many, the triggers for toxic shame happen far more easily as we get older as well, which is why we need to heal no matter our age. Healing, as always, begins with recognizing that we are not responsible for our abuse and unlearning our toxic shame. It can be done, but it takes time and it takes a lot of work. First, explore the good things about yourself. Find your own self-worth. Write down everything that is good about you. Study what you've written and remember that your life has been productive and worthwhile, even though you carry this toxic shame. You'll be amazed at the things you have achieved, and we often forget about those things. And they don't have to be world-shattering, but they can be having a family, buying a home, buying a new car, maintaining a job, helping in a community, whatever it might be. We need also to change our emotional response. Whenever you feel anxious, take a deep breath and think about what's happening. Is your heart racing? Are you feeling sick in the stomach? Ask, why am I getting so upset? What can I do differently? Challenging our emotional reactions or negative thoughts allows us to change our perspective. Changing toxic shame, though, will not happen overnight. It takes time. And because it's complex, it requires a professional therapist skilled in working with shame-based trauma to assist you. There are many therapies out there that you can consider. Here are a couple to just sort of think about. Cognitive behavioral therapy, that's talk therapy that helps you manage your trauma by changing the way you think and behave. Compassion-focused therapy helps you acquire the skills to develop the key attributes of compassion. There's emotional freedom technique, or EFT, that involves tapping your fingertips on specific points on your hands, face, and body while focusing on your thoughts and feelings. And it's a very good practice. Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, EMDR, recalling traumatic memories while following a therapist's eye movement instructions. Hakomi therapy guides the client without imposing perceptions or preferences. Hypnotherapy, which is something that I use, uses hypnosis to gain control over those traumatic events and behaviors. There's psychology, of course, removing toxic shame by identifying the root cause of shame. Quantum healing hypnosis technique, healing through the experience of past lives. And somatic therapy, which is a lot about breathing, explores how the body expresses painful experiences, and it can really help you. Whatever you do or should find something, because toxic shame won't just go away on its own. Now, the following will help whenever you feel nervous or anxious. It's known as a grounding breath or box breathing. And the breathing is done through your nose with your mouth closed. So close your eyes, breathe in on a 4 count, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold for a 4 count, then breathe out on a 4 count. Then you hold for a 4 count again. Then you breathe in on the 4 count, hold for a 4 count, breathe out on a 4 count, and repeat until you feel comfortable. I'm Graham Robinson. If you'd like to find out more about me, go to grahamrobinsonwellness.com or check out my books on Amazon, Shattered Innocence, Healing the Invisible Wounds of Childhood Trauma, and my first book, Pain, Loss and Desire. Next time on Healing Childhood Trauma, we're going to talk about the father wound. Until then, take care of yourself.